saw the 2025 MDX. Nice little facelift they did to the car, but to be honest with you, completely unnecessary. You know what is necessary? For them to redesign the RDX. Since the very inception of this YouTube channel, the RDX and CX-5 have looked exactly how they look right now. And here I am asking Acura and Mazda, please, for the love of God, redesign these cars. At the moment, we're dealing with way more RDXs than MDXs. Acura dealers have about 7,400 RDXs, and my gut is telling me this may be the last year for this body design. I feel it. It's coming, which means one thing. It means leasing out an RDX is probably going to get cheaper than it is right now. Not as many units with the MDX, though, about 5,200 units, none of which are 2025s, just FYI. Trim by trim on the RDX, you can tell from the image on my right that the tech package is the way to go. Let's zero in on the RDX for the next few minutes, and then we'll examine the MDX. The typical tech package RDX now is around $48,950 on average. It's safe to use about 5% as the target percentage off the MSRP you should be shooting for. This would get you one at invoice, which is highly possible, by the way. Do not expect that, though, on the ZDX, because that ain't going to happen. 5% off of MSRP to get you to invoice is about a $2,500 discount that we want the dealer to discount off of their car. Acura is offering the now very common 3.9% promotional APR up to 60 months. But get this, on the back end, Acura is offering its dealers $1,500 on each brand new RDX they sell using Acura Financial Services as the buyer's financing method. What does that mean exactly? If the dealer gets you to finance through Acura, they get that extra cash that they can use to discount the car even further, not included in that 5%. You should be getting that 5% plus that extra discount. How do I know this? The cheat sheet, check it out in the description below. Our final target price on the RDX, about $44,000 seems about right knowing what we know now, and that's if you're financing or leasing. Loyal Acura customers benefit from $1,000 in a loyalty incentive, and current owners of any 2014 or newer Audi, BMW, Buick, Cadillac, Genesis, Honda, Infiniti, Lexus, Lincoln, Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, or Volvo can get $750 in a conquest incentive. Now, if you're going to be leasing, let's rip through the numbers and I'll give you a payment and then we'll move on to the MDX. The RDX has a terrible residual, probably because at this point, it's a 26-year-old design. 26 was a bit of an exaggeration. I think it's more like 14 or 19 or something like that. I'll look into it. 54% residual at 36 months and 12,000 miles a year, and a 0.00128 money factor, which is about a 3% APR. Now, plugging this all into the lease calculator, assuming you're getting 5% off, assuming you're paying your inception fees due at start, and assuming that you've liked and subscribed to this YouTube channel, we'd be talking about an absolutely awful $607 a month. That's not even including tax. Residual sucks, you guys. What can I say? It may make more sense to just buy it than lease it. Now, the MDXs, as you can see on my right, the tech package, again, is the way to go like it is on the RDX. A typical MDX tech pack is about $59,000, give or take a few hundred if the dealer equipped it with some accessories. Go for a little bit more off the price off of an MDX. Instead of going for 5%, go for about 6% at the very minimum. Shooting for 6% is going to get us the MDX for about $55,460 before any incentives, which, by the way, there are some incentives coming at you. Acura dealers get more of that dealer cash for the MDX than they do for the RDX. $2,000 to be exact, and that goes up to $3,000 if you're leasing. Again, refer to the cheat sheet to to find out how I'm scraping all this data. The same 3.9% promotional APR is available as well. Now, lease customers, you're going to need that extra $1,000 that Acura is tossing in because the lease program kind of sucks, but actually a bit better than the RDX. It's got the same 54% residual, but a 0.0012 money factor, which is about 2.88% APR, so a tiny bit less on the interest rate. So plugging that all into the lease calculator, assuming everything I said before, but especially that last part, we'd be talking about $673 a month. Again, not including tax. Meh. Meh is probably a good word for this lease. It's not as bad as the RDX, but not amazing either, like the CX-90, which I'm absolutely going crazy over if you couldn't tell from my previous video. Let's take a look at an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. Should you wait for the 2025 MDX? Are you wondering what they changed exactly besides the headlights like I was? Take a look at this title of this article from Motor Trend. 2025 Acura MDX, first look, the worst thing was fixed. I guess to summarize, if you don't like confusing infotainment systems and control pads, the 2025 may be the way to go. The touchpad is gone and replaced with a touch screen. 12.3 inches to be exact, operating on Windows XP.
You what?
Just kidding. Operating on Google infrastructure, I think is like probably the right word to use here, even though it's probably not. Other new stuff worth mentioning. Restyled front fascia with new trim-specific grille treatments, darker headlights and taillights, redesigned center console with USB-C ports, and standard wireless charging, not like optional wireless charging that BMW offers, which is annoying, and I found that out the hard way. Available Bang & Olufsen sound system with 19 or 31 speakers. Available curvilinear, contained by or consisting of a curved line or lines. Available curvilinear, quilted 16-way Milano leather front seats with 9-way massaging function, redesigned front seats for Type S models with ultra suede bolsters and Type S logos embossed on headrest. Standard Acura watch driver assistance suite receives upgraded camera and radar systems, sound deadening for all trims beyond the basic MDX. I think the 2025 is probably going to be the way to go, but if you want some sort of deal, the 2024 is your best shot. Consumer Reports, however, really likes the RDX as opposed to the MDX, giving it an overall score of an 81, yet for the MDX for 2024 model years was given a 70 out of 100. Predicted reliability was way higher on the RDX at like an 80% out of 100 versus a 52% out of 100 on the MDX. Geico, however, gave me a reasonable, like absurdly reasonable insurance quote on both vehicles. On the RDX, I was given a quote that I think was like less than a RAV4. $1,322 for the year, and for the MDX, $1,732 for the year, and that's not even like the prepaid rate, which I could save a bit more off of these numbers just by paying the whole balance up front. Link to my cheat sheet to my right. It's $25. Just get the damn thing. If you found this information useful, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.